For 270 years, this mountain kingdom became the arch-enemy of the world's greatest military machine, a constant thorn in the side of Assyrian kings who could conquer anyone except the masters of the mountains. The big question is, how did they do it? Their story begins in the brutal Iron Age. As the Neo-Assyrian Empire carved a bloody path across the Near East, a new power rose from the forbidding highlands to the north. They were the people of Nili, centered around the Great Lake Van, but the Assyrians gave them a different name, Urartu. The name meant the high place, and it was the perfect description for a kingdom born in a natural fortress of jagged mountains and narrow passes. This wasn't the Fertile Crescent. This was a land of harsh winters and rugged terrain, a place that should have been a remote backwater. Yet from this unforgiving landscape, a confederation of highland tribes unified, most likely as a direct response to the existential threat of Assyria's relentless expansion. Under their first great king, Sarduri I, they repelled Assyrian incursions and founded their capital, Tushpa, a citadel perched on a formidable rock overlooking the waters of Lake Van. The secret to Urartu's survival was written in stone. While other kingdoms built cities, the Urartians built fortresses, hundreds of them, crowning the highest peaks across their domain. Recent discoveries, like a massive fortress found at an altitude of 3,000 meters, with walls stretching for 4 kilometers, show the sheer scale of their ambition. They didn't just build high, they built smart. Urartian engineers used massive basalt stones, some weighing up to 12 tons, cut and placed with such precision that they held their position on steep slopes. This created walls that were virtually impenetrable to the siege technology of the day. Archaeological work at sites like Korzut Fortress reveals walls up to 9 meters wide, designed not only for defense, but to project an aura of absolute, unshakable power. This network of citadels served as both military garrisons and administrative centers, allowing the king to control his territory and watch for any approaching enemies. Even when Assyrian armies managed to push deep into Urartian lands, they systematically failed to take these key citadels. Frustrated, they would ravage the countryside, but the heart of Urartian power remained secure in its high-altitude strongholds. Secure behind their fortresses, Urartu didn't just survive, it thrived. For a time in the 8th century BC, it became so powerful that it challenged Assyria for dominance in the Near East. The kingdom grew rich from its control of vital resources, especially metals. The Armenian highlands were rich in copper, iron, and tin, and Urartian artisans became some of the most skilled metalworkers of the ancient world. Their bronze work, gleaming helmets, intricate shields, and decorated quivers was coveted across the Mediterranean. This wealth funded a sophisticated professional army. Elite troops wore metal-scale armor and innovative pointed helmets designed to deflect arrows. They copied and improved upon Assyrian technology, developing powerful chariotry units and becoming renowned as the finest archers their enemies had ever faced. Under visionary kings like Argishti I and his son Sarduri II, Urartu entered its golden age. Sarduri II was so confident that he had an inscription carved at his capital, calling himself the Magnificent King, the Mighty King, King of the Universe, a king having none equal to him. And for a time he had a point. He pushed the kingdom's borders to the Black Sea in the north and led his armies south into northern Syria and deep into the territories of Assyria's allies. For a brief, shining moment, the mountain kingdom had put its Assyrian rival on notice, threatening its dominance. The Urartian kings were not just conquerors, they were grand strategists. Based on royal inscriptions, historians have pieced together a strategy that feels surprisingly modern. Boasts from Sarduri II of conquering 14 fortresses and 80 cities in 24 hours suggest a lightning-fast approach that used coordinated, multi-pronged attacks to overwhelm opponents before they could mount a defense. Against weaker states, they used overwhelming force. But against a superpower like Assyria, they were far more cunning. They practiced a Fabian strategy, avoiding the direct, pitched battles where Assyria's massive army would have the upper hand. Instead, they isolated Assyrian allies, cut supply lines, and used the mountains for hit-and-run attacks and ambushes. The ultimate clash came in 714 BC. The fearsome Assyrian king, Sargon II, tired of the constant Urartian threat, launched a massive campaign to destroy the kingdom for good. The Urartian king, Rusa I, used the terrain to his advantage, attempting to lure the Assyrians into a devastating trap. But Sargon had his own spies. In a moment of legendary audacity, he didn't avoid the trap, he charged head-first into it. Seeing his own troops waver, Sargon personally led his royal bodyguard in a desperate charge against the Urartian lines. The gamble worked. Rusa's army was defeated, and Sargon sacked the holy Urartian temple at Musasir. Assyrian records, which were essentially Sargon's victory propaganda, claim that upon hearing the news, Rusa I took his own life in shame. In a way, Urartu's greatest victory was its own survival. The constant warfare had exhausted the Assyrian war machine. The immense resources and effort spent trying to conquer the highlands weakened Assyria, contributing to its eventual collapse in 612 BC at the hands of the Babylonians and the Medes. Urartu had outlasted its arch-enemy. However, the kingdom was now a shadow of its former self. Weakened by decades of war, it was also battered by nomadic invaders like the Scythians and Cimmerians. The final blow came around 590 BC, when the kingdom was absorbed into the rising Median Empire. Its name faded from history, its fortresses crumbled, and its story was lost for over 2,000 years, only to be rediscovered by archaeologists in the 19th century. But its legacy never truly vanished. It became the blueprint for resistance in the region. The Persians, who inherited the area, adopted Urartian fortress designs and hydraulic engineering. They, and the Romans after them, would find the Armenian highlands just as unconquerable as the Assyrians had. The strategies of mountain warfare, of using terrain to neutralize a superior force, and bleeding superpowers through long attritional conflicts, were lessons first taught by Urartu. Later empires in the region, like the Parthians, used mobile cavalry and scorched earth tactics that mirrored Urartu's to inflict one of Rome's most infamous defeats at the Battle of Carrhae. The Sasanian Persians fought the Byzantine Romans to a standstill in these same highlands for centuries, a conflict that exhausted both empires and helped pave the way for the Arab conquests. If you want more untold stories from the ancient world's most forgotten empires, subscribe, because we're just getting started. In the end, Urartu wasn't conquered by a superpower, but by the sands of time. Its language, unrelated to any other in the region, fell silent. Its great god, Haldi, was forgotten. But the ghost of the kingdom remained. It laid the cultural and structural foundations for the Armenian nation that would rise in its place, a people who would carry on its legacy of resilience for millennia to come. Urartu stands as a testament to the idea that true power isn't just about the size of your army, but about the strength of your resolve. It's the empire that refused to break, the mountain fortress that held the line, and the forgotten blueprint for how to stop a superpower cold.